Hello, this is Stuart from TaiChiWizard.com and the Far Jin Project. I just want to do a review of this fight. This is the fight with Dylan Green, my young fella here, okay, who actually fought on the 25th of October 2014 and fought in the World Kickboxing Association tournament, full contact tournament that was here in Toowoomba. It's created some interesting debate. I titled the video Kung Fu Tai Chi Fighting, Tai Chi Chuan Fighting. Okay, and of course, and I knew it would. I was actually expecting it, that it would create a bit of an outcry by certain people that it's not Tai Chi. Okay, and that's not Tai Chi fighting. That's not Tai Chi. And there's usually two groups of people that will say such things. One group is people who believe that Tai Chi fighting, you should actually see these, big stylistic movements, the classical movements of Tai Chi. The other group have this sort of fascination with superpowers, and because there's no big fajin bouncing all over the place, that they say, oh, that's not real Tai Chi fighting because there's none of this woo-woo fajin nonsense going on. Well, both groups are somewhat deluded more than somewhat deluded. They're very deluded in their viewpoints, and it comes back down to exactly the same reason: is they don't pressure test what they're doing. Neither of those groups are actually doing anything in relationship to full contact sparring. Okay, and so without that pressure on their art, on their form, it leads them down the merry path down to Jabberwocky land, where they're believing that Tai Chi is this supreme ultimate fighting thing, etc., etc. Tai Chi Chuan does not mean supreme ultimate, by the way, and this will actually cause some eyebrows to smack against the ceiling right now. Tai Chi Chuan means yin and yang boxing, full stop, period. Okay, Tai Chi means yin and yang. That's actually what it means. It means the great polarity. Okay, the yin and yang symbol. That's it, full stop. It just means yin and yang boxing. So we're using the principles, the theories of yin and yang, and we're applying it to a boxing or pugilistic format, full stop, period. So it's not some sort of ultimate martial arts, it's just another martial art. But that's another story, and I could get pretty distracted on that, so let's get stuck into this analysis. So what you see here is Dylan's actually fighting with my Tai Chi Chuan and my Kung Fu, which is pretty much the same thing. On the Tai Chi Chuan side of things, it's the Golden Rose Tai Chi Chuan or the Shinmei Gui Tai Chi Chuan, and on the Kung Fu side of things, it's Ziranchuan, which is the Ziran means natural or free or spontaneous, and Chuan, of course, boxing once again. So using those principles that are coming out of what I teach, we've got Dylan into this fight. I've given him some basic toolkits to work with, okay? But underneath that, what is powering those toolkits, what is powering the external applications, is the deep principles of Tai Chi Chuan. And what I'll do is I'll actually go through this video and highlight a few of those things. And we'll go through here, we'll see a couple of clashes going on here. Okay, please notice also, and this is something I want to really emphasize, it should be pretty apparent, is the absolute difference in size between Dylan, okay, and the chap he's actually fighting. Okay, so Dylan has stepped up as fighting in basically a higher weight class against a guy that has probably got 6 inches or so reach on him. There's probably I don't know, probably 5 inches of height there, and maybe 10 kilos of weight. So Dylan's actually fighting against someone who's really you know, in terms of physical stature, has got the advantage over Dylan. Okay, so for Dylan to actually go into this comp and fight as well as he did and pull out the draw with this fight here is absolutely sensational. So we'll just sort of forward through this a little bit because I want to emphasize a few things on the way through. Okay. Now the absolute first thing, and this comes from the Tai Chi Sungun, okay, and again, what we look at in my system, okay, is a process of using an example, is taking a raw material, purifying it, refining it, tempering it. Okay, that's the three basic or the three basic process of what we do. So in my system we have Tai Chi Sungun, we have Dao Lu, and then we have Sanchao. Okay, that's it. And there is a distinct and direct progression from Tai Chi Sungun all the way through to Sanchao. Now, I call Sanchao, and this is just because this is what I've trained through. Sanchao is just the free fighting. Okay, my version of Sanchao, I don't think of a particular rule set. It's just making sure that you're actually fighting with the previous stages, the Sungun and your Dao Lu, is forcing it up into, or pressurizing it into a situation where you are actually fighting with it. I don't care what the rule set is, whether it's Sanchao, Sanda, Muay Thai, you know, grappling, wrestling, whatever it is, that all of it for me is under the banner of Sanchao. And under Sanchao, we have the four forms of attack: Tida Na Shui, Tida Na Shui, sorry, get my pronunciation right, damn Aussies. Tida Na Shui. Okay, so you've got punching, kicking, grappling, or wrist locks, or arm locks, whatever, and then your wrestling itself. That, to me, in my system, so that it's clear, all of that is Sanchao in how I teach. Okay, now the very first thing, going back to our Sungun then, and I want to talk about this process of taking raw movement, which is your Tai Chi Sungun, pressurizing it up into something that is then a fighting art. That is the process of Tai Chi Chuan. Okay, first thing we do is we connect through the feet here. In the Tai Chi Classics, we have the precept of that the power or the Jin is actually rooted in the feet, okay, initiated in the feet, powered by the legs, controlled by the Dantian, to be finally expressed through the hands. Okay, that's the process that we're looking at. So the very first thing, as we see here in Dylan's stance, is this idea of deeply connecting through the feet. Now, directly through the center of the foot, through what's called the K1 point, or the bubbling spring point, the kidney meridian at the center of the feet. That's where we keep our weight centered. We want to have the ability to move. Okay, not only do we want to have the ability to have a strong stance, okay, but we also want to have a strong stance that is mobile. Okay, at any stage, Dylan should have the ability to either move forward to attack, move backwards in a defense, or move to the sides. At every point of his stance, he should be ready to move, and that's what we work with. We do a lot of footwork in terms of that. Okay, a lot of footwork drills to get that. So we have a nice stance where he's nicely rooted through the feet, up and through the legs, and now he's connecting up into the core, up into the Dantian. Okay, and this is where you get the slight sort of lean that you see, which is very typical in the Tai Chi Chuan. Okay, rather than being upright where you're carrying your weight through your spine and through your hips, we actually have this little bit of a lean, little bit of a hunch forward, so that we're connecting properly through the core of the body. That provides proper stability through the structure of the body, and so when we're actually launching our attacks forward, okay, we're actually learning how to connect through that core properly, so there's no delay. If we're sitting backwards in our spine, then there will be that delay as we actually have to engage the core muscle of the body to power from the leg upwards through the core, and then out through to the arms. Okay, that's what Tai Chi classics tell us to do. So we have this nice stable stance with Dylan. Not only that, you'll actually see here's an example of Dylan's actually spotted that this guy here, his opponent, has his left hand forward. Okay, so if we have a look here, my old mate here is fighting orthodox. All right, he's got his left hand forward. Dylan knows, and I've trained him over and over again, that we actually use our pung stance here. So this is where Dylan has actually put that left arm forward now into a sort of a lovely pung shape here. Okay, and he's looking over the top of the arm. You don't actually see that. So this is classic out of the form, creating this pung structure. Now, from this connection through talking about pung structure, another way of saying pung structure is actually what they call the 5 bows. Okay? The 5 bows are quite literally one leg, 2 leg here, we've got an arm here, we've got another arm here, and then we actually have the spine. So there's our 5 bows, basic 5 bows of the body. Okay. It does actually extend further, where we actually are looking at the bow or the girdle through the hips and waist, and also through the bow of the shoulder as well. So you end up getting 7 bows through the body. Okay. And this is what Dylan is doing. And again, we put a lot of pressure on his stance. We test it, we push it, we smack it around until he's in a nice, strong, stable stance, but in a stance that actually can be mobile. Okay. So the 5 bows are emphasized. He's connected strongly through the feet here, connecting into the dantian here. Wasn't actually very accurate. So connecting here, connecting through the core of the body here. Then he actually uses that the slight sort of curving of the spine here. He's rounding his shoulders very nicely through there. Okay, and then actually having that power moving out into the arms. So there is our nice Tai Chi structure, okay, and he's fighting with it. Okay, who would have thought, right? Okay, so go through here a little bit. A couple more clashes. There's actually a really beautiful one. Now this is a good clash. Okay, Dylan's come forward. Notice how he stepped, the power's coming off that right foot as he's powering that kick. So there's his right foot back there. He's coming forward and he goes for the kick and he misses, and that's okay. All right. He immediately does regather and goes for the back fist. However, he doesn't time it well and he gets tagged. His opponent very nicely actually saw it and bang, gets himself tagged. And you see that Dylan's leg there is very nastily trapped in behind the other guy's leg there. So that's a bad situation for Dylan. But I want to show you this. So he's here, there. Now, here comes the right cross straight there. Now look at Dylan's automatic reaction. And we have drilled this, okay, over and over again. As soon as he's in trouble, I get him to throw his hands up into pung. Right, or what I call cross guard, just for ease's sake. Look at Dylan's right hand there. Okay, there's his right hand coming up into a classic pung deflection, ward off, and it's doing what ward off is supposed to be doing, which is deflecting that incoming around the body here. Now, this is something I want to emphasize, and this is the one of the strengths of Tai Chi, okay, and the training that we've been putting Dylan through. He's been off balance here. Off balance, off balance, off balance, bang. And I've taught him, first thing you do, is you do 2 things. You connect through the core again. You get in trouble, you connect through the core. The next thing you do is you make sure that that foot is planted again. Bang. Okay. So as soon as he does that, he's planted his foot here, connecting through. Now straight away, he's actually powering back up through that leg, connecting through the dantian, and it's giving him a perfect reaction time to now strike straight back at that opponent. All right, so it tags him, bang, so that he has good reaction time and isn't getting turtled, not dropping down and sort of overly defending himself. He's able to actually get back in the fight as quickly as he can and puts his opponent back on the back foot straight away. Okay. Awesome. All right. And just to back up here again, all right, if we can see this there. All right, watch. Now this is Tai Chi. Look at the compression here, compressed down in through that back leg here. Okay, now of course this is all happening in the midst of this guy trying to punch Dylan in the head. So he's done really well to keep his principles good. All right, connecting through that leg. Now from there we're using our 5 bows to throw power back out to our opponent. Okay, push with that leg. Look what he's doing here. All right, this is a perfect Tai Chi example of how we generate power. Okay, and if anyone is saying, yeah, but that's just good boxing. Yes, hallelujah. It is just good boxing. Okay, that's all it's meant to be. Good boxing, good, efficient boxing. And Dylan is just showing a beautiful example of it all the way through this. Here, bang, plant that leg, power through the leg. Watch the power, watch the motion of the power, watch the path of the power, up through the leg here, up in through the core. Look how he's actually turning the hips now, there. Now look how his structure stays strong. So it's through in here, up and through here, up out through the arm, out into the strike. Okay, that is Dao Jin. In my school, it's called Dao Jin, or pathway of power. Okay, and Dylan does it perfectly through there. Good strike. Okay, it didn't tag fully, but you get the idea. All right, bang. Now the other thing that I emphasize with Tai Chi Chuan. Tai Chi Chuan in my books is good striking, good kicking, and Tai Chi should excel at the grappling range. Now, in this fight, there was no clinching. Okay, clinching wasn't allowed. It was just straight kickboxing. Okay, you weren't actually allowed to grab, clinch, or sweep or take down or whatever. Okay, it was just straight out clinching. But we have a principle in Tai Chi Chuan, which is to, once we engage, we stay with the opponent. Okay, we don't break. So we get in there, we stick it, we adhere, and once we've actually have that connection with our opponent, we stay there. Okay, and this is something that I've been encouraging Dylan to work with. So watch how he's trying to stay in there. Okay, trying to stay in connection with the opponent. Okay, using our basic deflections that we see all the way through the form. Okay, staying with the opponent. Okay, and then only backing out when you feel like you're getting a little bit in trouble there. Yep. So again, look at this beautiful structure. Okay, and I want to emphasize this. Old mate here, look at his structure. Okay, he's upright. Okay, so I think he's gotten a little bit concerned about Dylan by now. All right, where Dylan is here. You know, good structure, good structure, good structure. Okay, and that's it. Tai Chi is just good structure. Making sure that our attacks and our defense forms are really good. Now this is a good exchange here. Dylan's come forward. He's trying to bridge. Okay, he's trying to come in through here and trying to throw that arm out there to form a bridge. And the counter attack is our opponent here is going for that big front kick. All right. Now notice the structure here. Dylan's come forward. Once again, as he's coming forward here, he's connecting through the feet, through the core there. That gives him the ability to react fast to this kick. Okay, boom, look, bang, connect. All right, push back off that front leg here, connect. But look at his structure all the way. Not once, even though he's going back, not once did he break that structure to there. Okay, again, this is the pressure that I've been putting on him to actually get it to there. All right, from here, kick straight in there. Look at that back leg. Come back, kick there. Okay. Boom. Once it's on, try and stay on him. Old mate tends to run away a little bit here. Okay. I think he's got himself a little bit concerned about how well Dylan's actually getting in there and not even being concerned about what's going on. Okay, here's another one too. Dylan gets well and truly tagged there. Bang. Tagged. Dus. Alright, look how well he regains his structure. Again, this is what I've been drilling on him. Alright, if you get hit, okay, first thing, bang, get your structure right again. Get your feet and through your dantian correct again. Again, this is one of the benefits of Tai Chi Chuan. Okay, it's just straight kickboxing format, but we have adapted the principles of Tai Chi Chuan into this environment. I'm essentially 100% proving that if we pressure the principles of Tai Chi, okay, it works in any format. Boom, there. This is good. Eh? How's that for a brush knee? We're stepping backwards instead of stepping forward, but there's straight out of the form. He comes from the kick. Dylan nicely blocks back down. And again, look at this structure. If that doesn't look like a beautiful Tai Chi form work, then nothing does. Okay, in there, keep going, keep sticking. Yeah, when he gets into trouble, straight into his structure again. Bang, his first reaction. He just does it beautifully. And this is what people don't see. The people who are carrying on with, it's not Tai Chi, it's kickboxing. What they're not seeing is they're not seeing the pung structure. Look how he just keeps this beautiful pung structure all the way through. And look how effective it is. Look how effective this Tai Chi structure is in the format of punching and kicking, and that's the end of the round. Okay, and that would have definitely been a round to Dylan. Okay, he won the first round without a doubt. Second and third round could have been debatable. If the judges had been also judging on ring control and on aggression, then it would have been Dylan's fights hand down. The tournament was a little bit more of a social event. In terms of, well, you know, everyone who fights wins kind of affair. However, and I know I'm being incredibly biased, I'm pretty certain that Dylan would have been coming away with the win had it been just a little bit more professional in the scoring of things. But look, there you are. That's the analysis of it. So anyone who actually is saying that, hey, it's not Tai Chi fighting, can go and take a royal jump, because they're not actually understanding what Tai Chi looks like. Again, what you're seeing here is the end result of taking basic movement, which is Sung movement, okay, so loosening and Sung movement, and pressurizing it through the form, okay, so we're giving it some sort of shape and structure and movement and connection movement, and then pressurizing it under full contact combat, full contact sparring, okay, condensing it, pressurizing it, tempering it, until what you actually have is a art form where you are being very efficient and getting good power, good structure, and good stability through everything that you're doing. Okay, so there it is. Have fun with that. It's 25 minutes worth of analysis there, but it has to be looked at, it has to be said, because the Tai Chi Chuan needs a raw kick up the arse in terms of what everyone is doing. All this friendly exchange crap is a disease in the world of Tai Chi Chuan. It's quite literally old pricks and wannabes getting together, patting each other on the arse, trying to make each other feel special, okay, because deep down you actually know that you've lost it. You don't have it, you've lost it, and you don't have what it takes. And I'll say this once more, and I'm challenging every damn Tai Chi practitioner and student and teacher in the world, that if you can't make your Tai Chi work in any environment, then you do not have a combat art. You have a hobby. Okay, you have a nice little hobby where you can sit back in your armchair and make yourself think that you're doing martial art. Okay, where when it really counts and where it really counts, you don't have it. Here is Dylan Green, okay, a Tai Chi fighter, stepping up and proving that his Tai Chi principles are working in this environment. We had to adapt it, sure, to a kickboxing format, but it is working. He did awesomely well, and he can't come away with a draw and win in this fight. Enough said. No one can take that away from him. Thanks very much. Stuart Shaw from TaiChiWizard.com and the Far Jin Project.